Seekers! Sally here. Hope you're having an amazing and fascinating day. I know you know what. I know I am. Hey, thanks so much for stopping by. Today I'm going to share something with you that's going to be maybe useful for newbies, hopefully. I've had some requests for this, and I resisted doing it because my procedure is really so simple I didn't think it was worth it. What am I talking about? We're talking about how I set up and how I tear down my RV when I'm getting ready to move. Now, keeping in mind that in this phase, I'm really pretty much in travel mode every day. So I'm not getting things out. I'm not putting a chair up outside. I'm basically parking. Think of my RV as a motel room for the most part, because that's really the position that I'm in. But I want to share with you just what it is exactly that I have to do. And as I said, it's not much. So as always, thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you taking your time to watch my videos. And if you haven't already, please do consider subscribing. If you think you are, double check to make sure. Leave a comment, thumbs up, do all the stuff. I really appreciate it. We're going to roll the intro and we'll get started on setup as soon as we do that. Alright, this is going to be a different kind of video. For the first time ever, I'm going to share exactly what it takes for me to set up. And the very first thing I do, and I do it before I turn the vehicle off, is make sure I'm close enough to level. So I've already done that. Now I'm turning on the switch for my inverter, because one of the things that I have learned is that it is much easier to run the slide out under full power than just on battery power. So now I'm going to run my slide out. Now typically once I've done this, if I don't need the inverter for anything, I'll go ahead and turn the inverter off again so I can keep getting solar power in. I am going to go take a look and see how much solar we've got available, or how much battery power we've got available in just a minute. So yeah, so we're running the slide out all the way. Okay, so that's done. I mean, this is my setup is so simple, guys. I haven't ever filmed it for that very reason. So now we're moving Kit's bed back into the living room. And since it's winter time, he's got a blanket there. And then I get my table off of the bed. Flip it back right side up. And that's where that goes. And these are some of my food-related items. Because I've got this giant butternut squash, I keep taking it off of the counter, but normally the basket's right on the counter, no big deal. Yeah, that's it, we're done. Hard to believe, right? All right, I'll get carried away. I'll go ahead and open the windows and the door. And I'm pleased to be able to say I need to do that because it is still 80 degrees outside on the 30th of October. So it really is this simple. And it remains this simple because I don't change things around very much, right? So there we are. I don't get a whole lot of stuff out. I'm going to get my laptop out. Let's see how we are for power. Yeah, see, we're not having a great power day today. We're not having a great power day today because I spent hours sitting underneath of trees with no solar. So we're only at 89%. And I think we're supposed to be sunny tomorrow, so we should be fine. But yeah, I've got, the windows are open. I didn't open this one, but I'm actually not going to because there's a fair amount of breeze and I don't want to get chilly. And one other thing I need to do is turn off my TPMS sensor. Everything else is off now. This afternoon, I will recharge the batteries for my GoPros, and I don't have to do it for my TPMS sensor today, but I typically do that kind of thing and then I'm ready to go in the morning. You know, if I want to get carried away, I can take the sink cover off now. Usually I wait until I'm actually making food to do that. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. There we go. And then I just stored, you know, top half of the sink cover there. And I work with one half of the cover on all the time, so I have more counter space. So, pretty simple. And that's the way I like to keep it. I don't get out a bunch of stuff. I don't want to make a mess. I don't want to have a lot to clean up. I just want to be ready. So I can be on the road in the morning in 5 minutes or less. And if I remember, I'll film that too. Okay, well, here we are. This is putting stuff away. And the process looks a little bit different. So I always start by sweeping the floor because my fur ball sheds a lot. And in fact, I've already picked up several largish clumps of dog hair. And I do this because I don't want to end up with anything getting trapped in the slide mechanism. So part of this is that his bed goes in the back so that when I'm ready to bring the slide in, it won't be in the way. And I've got several things going on up here that I'll share with you in just a moment as soon as I get this done. Okay, so that's out of the way. And then the mop just stores right there. Next thing I'm going to do, whoops, I didn't do under the table. Oops. So we've got a big wad of hair here. I just do not understand how this little tiny dog can shed so much. So I flip my table upside down under the on top of my bed, and then I have been trying to get a video uploaded for 2.5 days now and have not been successful, so we're now going to stop that process and go ahead and put my computer away because that's pretty much the last thing that's out. And I think you can see my recliner here. Now normally there are certain things I don't keep out, like my rain jacket is out on a hook right here, and that's because when it's been cold or it's been rainy and there's been, you know, intermittently enough of that, so I'm just leaving the jacket out instead of hanging it back up in the closet. So that's put away. My cords are all captured. This one, I keep my spare cords in the back of my seat, which works really, really well. And then I've got, this is a minimizing hack, guys. I have a bunch of receipts here that I have not scanned in the past like 2 weeks probably. And typically what I do is I scan my receipts so that I can store them. What just occurred to me this morning is, if I'm keeping up with my bookkeeping, which I have been, I really don't need to keep every single receipt for every single thing I bought anymore. I always did it when I was running on a full-on business so that if it ever came down to it, I could prove to the IRS the difference between business receipts and personal receipts. But my business now basically is YouTube, and so that's a big shrink in the amount of income and responsibility that I have. So I don't need to save every single receipt to be able to prove that. Oh, and once again, it's a little bit like always making sure that you are in a place where you feel safe. I've never had an issue with the IRS. I've never been in a place, I've never stayed in a place where I feel truly unsafe, because you leave when that happens. Okay, so I'm going to try and catch up on bookkeeping this evening when we get stopped. That'll be that. And then the last thing here is put the other half of my sink cover back on, come up to the front, and turn on my TPMS so that it can start getting ready. And then we're going to bring the slide in. Kit doesn't like the slide coming in, although occasionally now he will sit on the sofa when I'm doing that. So you just never know exactly what you're going to get with Kit. And here's another hint. Always make sure, wait until your slide stops making any noise when you're bringing it in. Same thing when it's going out, you know, make sure you've got it in or out all the way. And then the last thing I'm going to do is turn off my inverter, because unfortunately I've been sitting here in the shade and I'm down to 69% now, so if I don't get out into the sun and get some sun going pretty quick, I am likely going to have to run the generator today. But that's it. That's all there is to it. How simple is that? Now, the last thing I'll do is I'll wait until my TPMS starts up and make sure I don't need to put air in any of my tires, which I don't expect to. So I hope you found that moderately interesting and perhaps even helpful. And yeah, we'll see you down the road. What do you say, Kit? What do you say? Do you say thanks for watching, everybody? We really appreciate you. Yeah. See you soon.